Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for Z Nation Season 3. And what I want to do with this video is do my review for the most recent episode of Z Nation, which is called Welcome to Murphytown. If you are not caught up with Z Nation and you do not want to be spoiled in any way, then I would exit the video now and come back later, because otherwise you will be spoiled. Okay. So overall, I thought this episode was pretty good. I think it was definitely a big improvement from last week's episode. I'm a little disappointed we missed out on the spider zombies that Addie talked about, but oh well, we've definitely seen a lot of great types on the show. And I thought that it did a very good job of bringing a lot of the elements together. It was nice to see a lot of different stories again. It was nice to see the characters again back together, and it was also nice to see the man. The man finally returned in this episode, which was very exciting, and the elements of the story really made for a great episode, and I really can't wait to see how all of these events play out in the last several episodes of the season. So again, this episode dealt with 3 different stories. We had Warren's group, we had Citizen Z's group, and we had Murphy's group. And Citizen Z's group and Warren's group really didn't do as much for the story in this episode. It was still important, though, and I think they did a good job with it. Basically, early in the episode, Doc and 10,000 are along the road. 10,000 is still passed out from the cocktail that Doc gave him, and they see a vehicle that drives by, and Doc realizes that it is Warren. It's the group. So this group basically reunites, and 10K eventually wakes up after reminiscing about the moment back when the collector had Murphy, when Murphy was about to bite 10K. He was kind of dreaming in a sense about that moment. He wakes up, and of course, he realizes he's reunited with the group. He's seen everybody. He's guarded, though. He doesn't want to let people know that he has been bitten. And, of course, he's been keeping that a secret. And basically, throughout the episode, you basically have Warren and the group getting information from 10,000. So 10,000 really presents the information that he knows about Murphy's group, the plan with the blends, the museum that Murphy is staying at, the fact that he's been biting people, making a vaccine, turning them into blends, Dr. Murch. All of that information he really gives to the group, and that's really what the episode deals with for them. We also had some references to the Red Hand Gang again. The group comes upon these 2 zombies that are tied to, I believe it was a gas tank, and then there was a car, and it basically said car thieves, that these people may have been car thieves, and the Red Hand Gang may have taken them out. So we saw a reference to them as well. And when the group found the vaccines, the original virus, 10K lied. He did not give forth what they actually were for. He tried to keep that hidden because he knew, of course, what it was. And, of course, he didn't want to let the group know that he needed them, that he was bit. Along the way, of course, people started to realize what was going on, because 10,000 throughout the episode, he was kind of like going in and out of, paying attention versus Murphy controlling him. You also had the fact that he would say things in a sense very involuntarily. Like at one point he would say something like, "You can't kill Murphy." And then they'd be like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" He's like supporting him. He's like basically saying things that are very out of character. So the group kind of figures it out near the end, what exactly is going on. And eventually in the episode, they come upon this truck that's driving, that basically Murphy used one of his people to basically as like a political advertisement van. If you ever see a van that goes around like with a siren that screams a message, that's basically what this was for. Murphy was basically advertising his cure from a van. And, of course, the Red Hand Gang off-screen destroyed it. Well, they didn't actually destroy it. They took out the driver and vandalized it a little bit. And the group found the body of the person who had been shot. And they basically learned that blends don't die. Well, when they die, they don't become zombies. So they learn a lot of new things. And at this point, when they realize what's going on, they realize that Lucy, of course, is still in Springfield, Illinois. 10K brings up the fact that Murphy does want to go and get Lucy back. So at this point, when we find out all about that, and when Dr. Sun finds out about Lucy, it intrigues her because, you know, she might have immunity to the virus, which she probably does. And they want to be able to protect her as well as maybe intercept Murphy there, maybe even bring her there so they could do tests on her. Lots of different possibilities. So the group actually splits up. Doc and Addie are heading back to Springfield, Illinois in the truck. And basically, Scorpion, Warren, and 10K and Dr. Sun, they're going to go and figure out what Murphy's doing and try to stop him. So the group ends up splitting near the end of the episode. And Doc and Addie are basically driving towards Springfield when they hear a message on the radio, which gets us to Citizen Z's character. Citizen Z, basically, he and his new family have found Northern Lights. They're trying to repair it, and they pretty much spend the whole episode trying to get the power back on. Yet a funny moment with the uncle where he shocked himself and they thought he died, but he really didn't. And they were basically working on that. They finally get it going, and Kaya and Citizen Z end up kissing in this episode. They may have done more. There may have been physical relations, but they fell off screen on the ground, so God only knows what happens. And, you know, it was definitely nice. I think it added a lot of humor to the episode. I think that, you know, the pair is a really cute couple. I do wonder, again, what are they going to do with this character? I would really like to hope that maybe it is better intentions other than what my one video predicted, that Kaya might turn out to be some kind of villain. But basically at the end of the episode, Kaya decides to send out a message. So Citizen Z, in a sense, gets back into his groove, and she ends up sending out a broadcast. She does a very wonderful rap. The actress, I don't know if she's a real singer or a rapper in real life, but she seems to have some talent, so maybe she might want to pursue that kind of a career. But basically, she sends this rap out about Operation Bite Mark and Citizen Z being back and that he's okay. And Addie and Doc end up hearing this, and they know that Citizen Z is doing okay. So those stories ended up coming together as well. So basically, the other thing that happened was 10K, it does end up being revealed because obviously Warren catches on that something isn't right. And at one point, 10K excuses himself to go get the vaccines. And of course, the group moved them because they knew something was going on. And they find out that he's been bit. When a Scorpion finds out about this, 10K runs off because obviously he's scared. I can understand why he's scared. But you know, he ends up running off. Warren shouts after him that, you know, they just want to help him, but he leaves, and basically they're unable to catch up with him. So 10K is once again separated from the group, and I don't know where he's going and what he's going to do. I'm going to assume that he's going to go back to Murphy, but what are his intentions? What is he going to do? That remains to be seen. But a lot of the episode and a lot of the great parts of the episode really focused on Murphy and the man. So basically, Murphy, his town is really flourishing. You know, he's had more people coming to experience him, to get the cure. And in this episode, he starts to give out more of the vaccines. So people are coming forward. They're basically saying, yep, here I am. This is what I used to do. People are getting assigned jobs. They're starting to get the vaccine. They're starting to get this town really going. And a lot of the episode deals with them trying to get the turbines on so that they can get power through Spokane. And Murphy ends up seeing the man who is amongst some of the people. So the man comes in and he appears to get, you know, vaccinated, because when they vaccinate you, they basically carve an X into your arm with a scalpel, which in a sense gives you the vaccine. It does make you sick, it makes you throw up, and it makes you look a little pale. And the man looks this way, you know, whenever he's seen after this. And you're kind of wondering, like, whoa, what's this guy doing? Like, is he really that dedicated to his job that he would risk getting a vaccine in order to get his target? Like, I was thinking to myself, what was he doing? Like, that's crazy that he would actually do that. But he ends up going before Murphy. Murphy, of course, remembers who the guy is. and basically says, well, what do you want? What exactly is going on? And he knows that he's been vaccinated. And the man basically says, I know I used to work for Zona. I used to be affiliated with them, but I no longer am. I'm here for you. You're the real deal. There's nothing left at Zona. There was a cure at Zona, but it's failed. Obviously, the person that was like you, I guess that he says that Zona has their own messiah, if you will, somebody who is infected. And it turns out that that person's dying and the cure is fading off, which is what we've heard was a lot of the problems with Zona. So, basically the man says, hey, I'm here for you. I think you're the best hope, and this is why I'm here. I don't want to work with Zona anymore. So Murphy's intrigued, and of course he thinks that, of course, since the man's been vaccinated, that he would be under his control. So Murphy tests him. Murphy asks him to basically get brains for him. After Murphy ate Dr. Murch's brain, it appears that he is starting to embrace more of his zombie side as well, because he is craving brains. And he also has a different physical appearance. Now, I don't know if that's from the vaccine that he's been taking, because I assume that he has perfected the vaccine. So it may have just been that those pale spots on him, that he ended up taking it, and that's exactly what a blend is going to do, that a blend is going to make you, maybe part of your face is blue, but part of it is like, human skin tone. That's what I was wondering, if that's what that was. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I thought, when I first saw Murphy's appearance. So the man ends up killing one of Murphy's people, and basically Murphy tests him, goes, okay, take a bite of the brain. And the man ends up doing this, and you're thinking, wow, like, he's really in this. He really did this. This is crazy. Like, what's the man doing? What kind of a storyline is he going to have now? Well, big reveal, it turns out that the man actually faked the whole thing. Early in the episode, the very first scene of the episode, somebody with a dog tattoo on their arm is having a fight with this guy. And we can't see what's going on, but basically the other guy kills the dog tattoo guy and then cuts his arm off. And we're wondering, well, what's that for? What's going on? What does this scene have to do with anything? Well, turns out that was the man. And he basically uses the guy's arm as a substitute, and that was the arm that was scratched. So from there, the man actually was not vaccinated. He goes and he throws up, he actually makes himself throw up, and it turns out that he used the fake arm and he used some makeup to make it seem like he was vaccinated. So he really wasn't. So that made sense. I was like, okay, I get that. That totally goes along with the man's, idea of what he wants to do. So, of course, the man is there for Murphy. That's exactly what he was there for. In the season premiere, we found out that the man had a list, and Murphy's name is the one that's on it. So he wants him. And, of course, the man ends up gaining Murphy's trust by bringing him brains. And basically, during that time, he lures Murphy into a trap. See, what the man wants to do is he wants to take Murphy back to Zona. And just in case Murphy doesn't want to cooperate, then the man wants to use Lucy as a bargaining chip. Basically, okay, you go back or I'm going to hurt your daughter, in a sense, or something like that. And, of course, the man makes a critical error in this episode. We haven't seen him ever make a mistake, but in this episode, he made one. He didn't realize that Murphy's daughter is not there. Because you remember that little girl that Murphy bit back in Murphy's Miracle? Well, she's still hanging around. Her parents are very big supporters of Murphy's. Well, the man thought that the daughter, those parents' daughter, they thought that was Lucy. So he ends up taking the little girl and tying her up and putting her in a car. And he ends up trapping Murphy and basically takes him outside and goes, look, you're either going to come with me to Zona or something's going to happen to your daughter. And Murphy, of course, laughs his guts. He goes, that's not my daughter, you idiot. And the man's like, whoops, yeah, I screwed up there. So that he ends up getting taken prisoner, and Murphy ends up handcuffing him to, I think, a table or a chair or something. And basically Murphy interrogates him. He wants to know, who is the person that's working for him, who's the leader of Zona, why is he doing what he's doing, and of course, the man doesn't give in. The man basically says, look, Murphy, you should come with me, because if you go to Zona, you will have more wealth and more power than you would ever know. Well, Murphy's not really interested in that, and of course, Murphy makes a mistake too. He decides to leave the man totally unsupervised so that everybody can go to the top of the tower of the museum to watch the town get lit up. So Murphy basically turns on the power, the whole town lights up again, and Warren's group that didn't leave is outside and looking at this. And Murphy's like, all right, everything's going great. He goes back downstairs, and what does he find? A blood trail and no man. What happened? Well, Z Nation kind of took a little bit from The Walking Dead there when Merle, of course, cut his hand off to escape the roof in Atlanta. Well, the man somehow detached his hand from his body to get out of the handcuffs and got away. And, of course, his hand left behind. Murphy picks it up, and it's basically holding the middle finger up, the remains of the hand, and Murphy just has this perplexed look on his face. So that was the episode, and again, I really think that it did a very good job. I can't believe the man would be that dedicated to his job that he would cut his own hand off. Something tells me something must have happened there, but it makes me wonder when we will see him again. What exactly is he going to do? Is he going to hang around? Is he on his way to Springfield as well? Is he going to be trouble for the group again, or the group going to join up with him? It makes me wonder. And when are we going to see the Red Hand Gang for real? Who is this imposter of Scorpion? And how exactly is 10K going to deal with everything? So many questions. I think this episode really presented so many different things, and I think it's really going to be the starting point for the great stories to come in the next few episodes of Z Nation. So with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you have any suggestions for future videos that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. Have a very wonderful evening, and thank you all very much for watching.